Hey everybody, Jake here and welcome to the hobby. PSA is taking Pokemon card grading submissions again for $10 a card with no guarantee on turnaround time. I like those kind of odds, so we're gonna send in a bunch of Pokemon cards and see what kind of grades we get back, because $10 per card is actually a really good deal right now. So I also wanted to share with you guys what kinds of Pokemon cards do I personally send in for gradings, and hopefully you can get a little bit of better understanding of what kind of Pokemon cards will bring the best value when graded. I want you guys to ignore that super chunky Pikachu for now because he is actually really distracting me. But in general, I've separated my submission into 3 separate categories for what I think is the best Pokemon cards to send in for grading. We have our modern English promo Pokemon cards, we have our Japanese promo Pokemon cards, and finally we have our vintage Pokemon cards. And I think these are the 3 categories that pretty much bring the best value. So let's go over what Pokemon cards I have in each category. For modern English Pokemon cards, I really like Pokemons that are very popular and have a lot of demand around them, and especially cards that are difficult to get. Here we have the Rayquaza GX shiny version from Hidden Fates. You can only get this card from the Hidden Fates premium collection, and it was never reprinted. It's almost really hard to find this card right now. So hard. Just a year ago, you could probably find a copy of Rayquaza GX for $8, and right now an ungraded copy is going for around $40. So it has gone up in terms of value by a lot, and this is just the ungraded version. We're going to send in multiple copies of this card. Personally, the big reason why I'm sending this card in is because I want a PSA 10 version of this card for my own personal collection. And when you want to do that, you got to send in more than one, just in case one does not come back as a PSA 10, although all of the version that I am sending in are pretty much gem mint. So likely we're going to have more than one PSA 10s, and when that happens, I'll usually sell off the extra copies for some extra profit. So here is the big reason why I'm sending in Rayquaza GX, and the big reason is because a gem mint PSA 10 version of Rayquaza is currently going for around $400, give or take. So that is a very high value gain to be grading these cards at. Ungraded copies only cost around 30 or 40 bucks. Grading cost is around $10, so total cost for me is only $50, and I have a net value gain after grading these cards of 400 or however much. So that is a huge gap between an ungraded and a graded card. So there is some serious chance of us making some value from grading these Rayquaza. As well, I also plan on grading a bunch of the Charizard GX from the Charizard GX Premium Collection. This card is really hard to find in a PSA 10 version, and I'll be honest, every single copy of these cards in PSA 10 has been skyrocketing in terms of value. Even if prices were to decline, I'm very confident that we will more than make our monies back from grading this Charizard GX promo card. So how did I get these ones? I actually acquired these from a bunch of Charizard GX Premium Collection that I purchased from a vendor 6 or 8 months ago. I spent like over $2,000 on a bunch of these, and honestly these are the best ones that I could find, and all of them are pretty much in gem mint condition, really solid condition. So in worst case, probably a PSA 9. Even at a PSA 9 or 8, we're still going to make a ton of value on these. I think these are also going for around $30 or $40 ungraded right now. And here's the big kicker. The $10 grading cost at PSA is only worth that price if your card is under $200 of value. They're only doing this for very cheap Pokemon cards, which is any Pokemon cards that are under $200, which is why I am specifically picking these cards which are within that range. All right, we got some other English promo cards that I'm going to be sending in, and you'll see that I am a huge fan of promo cards because they have some of the best artwork, very unique artwork that you really can't find inside of your packs. But you can grade some Pokemon cards from packs. I just think this Charizard EX is great. going for around $400 to $500 in a PSA 10, and this is probably at least a PSA 9 copy. Also, Gyarados EX, another great card, and this one is really nice. So I'm only sending in cards that I think have a solid shot of being a PSA 10, but you can send in anything. This Mewtwo EX you can actually pull from a pack. I believe I got it from an XY Evolution packs just a couple of weeks ago. You might have seen me pull it, and it's a really clean copy, and I kind of want it in a graded PSA 10. Worst case scenario, it comes back as a PSA 9 or 8. I'll do absolutely fine in terms of value. What else do we have here? We have our Shining Ho-Oh. This was the one that I pulled from the Elite Trainer box in just the last episode. Very cool card. I told you guys that I think it has a solid shot of being a PSA 10. Ungraded, it's currently worth around 40 bucks. Graded PSA 10, it's going for over $300. So do the math, no brainer, definitely worth it. Charmander, another great card. Pulled it from one of my Hidden Fates pack. Ungraded, you know, only going for around 20 bucks, but in a PSA 10, it's going for $200 or something ridiculous like that. So well worth the value from getting graded. As well, we also have some other cards that I pulled from Hidden Fates. We have Reshiram GX, great card, would love to see it graded. As well as Darkrai GX, another fantastic. Pretty much any of the Hidden Fates shiny vault cards are really worth it to be graded because they're really desirable. Cards like Reshiram and Darkrai here don't get graded very often, and there's a lot of people hunting for PSA 10 copies of this because Hidden Fates is a very popular set to get a master collection of. So those are the main English promo cards and a couple of set cards that I'm sending in away. And you can already see some of the reasons why I'm sending in these cards. They're definitely some of the coolest, most popular, and in-demand cards right now in the hobby. All right, we're gonna jump from modern English promos into vintage Pokemon cards. For vintage Pokemon cards, I think the best card to get graded right now is definitely Base Set. Base Set is absolutely amazing. Right here, I have a Charizard that I purchased around a year ago for $30. This was a Charizard I pulled for $30, and honestly, I don't care what grade it comes back in. It can come back in as a PSA 1, PSA 2, PSA 3, doesn't really matter. I will take this card in any grade right now, and it is still a value gain because this is such a hot and popular Pokemon to have graded. Honestly, if I put this Charizard up for sale, it will sell within hours, within literal hours. That's how hot this card is. As well, we got ourselves a Venusaur. This is actually a really solid Venusaur, closer to a PSA 7 or 8, maybe even a 9. Ooh, probably won't get a 10 on this card, but really, really solid card. And I purchased this card for $10, guys. Like literally pennies compared to what they're going for right now. Great card, PSA 8 or 9, and I'm looking at a $300 return on profits. As well, you got yourself Blastoise and a lot of other base set Pokemon cards. These cards actually cost me nothing. The reason for that is these Pokemon cards came as a part of a large bundle deal. I was purchasing a bunch of PSA graded Pokemon cards a while back. I spent over $1,200, and the guy threw in a bunch of extra promo base set holographic cards as a free giveaway, as a part of the deal, just to sweeten it, and I really appreciate that. There are a lot of great cards in here. I got some flack for saying that this Machamp is $100 cards, and people were saying, you know what, Jake, that's too expensive. I've been looking at prices, guys, and I know $100 is very expensive for a Machamp, but if I were to look at the back of this Machamp, it's pristine. It's a really nice Machamp. It might come back as a PSA 9, but even a PSA 9 base set first edition Machamp is going for $200 right now. So honestly, I think this is a $100 Pokemon card right now. The ones that you're seeing online sell for near mint copies for around $20 are near mint. They're probably closer to a PSA 5, 6, if you're lucky a 7. Any real collector who has a mint base set Pokemon card is not going to sell it ungraded, because all these cards are pretty much in near mint condition, and they're starting to really jump in terms of value. If you can find a nice copy of any base set Pokemon card for cheap, that's great. Go for it. You know, absolute steal. This Raichu, I'm really surprised by it. This Raichu might actually be a PSA 10. Let's look at it for a second. This Raichu is like perfect centering, perfect condition. I don't see any whitening on it at all. And the guy gave me this card for free. It's just insane what some of the deals that you can get on Pokemon cards in the past were. We have Nidoking, Hitmonchan, so pretty much just a bunch of base set Pokemon cards. I think these are absolutely great. And what do we have here? We have a 1996 holographic Charizard from the original Japanese base set. Super cool card. It's so ancient, it doesn't even have a copyrighted date. They don't even tell you what year it came out, but I know it was printed in 1996. Yeah, great card. What else do we have back here? Oh, yeah, we have some Umbreons. Really cool card. I think this was one of the cards that I said was really underrated right now. And you could have purchased copies of this E-Series Skyridge Umbreon for under $50. Such a great Skyridge card for under $50. Look at that artwork. I swear this is one of my favorite artwork in Skyridge, and it's just so amazing. Umbreon is just sitting there staring back at you behind a bright blue moon. It's just gorgeous artwork. A great card, and I'm really glad to grade this card. I'm sending away 2 of it, so I'm hoping at least one of them is a PSA 10. I have a solid shot at it. I think these cards are at least within a PSA 9 condition, so I have a solid shot of getting the PSA 10 within 1 or 2 of these copies, so hope it happens. Alright, so I've saved the best stacks of PSA submissions for last, and this is where you can really see my preference come through. And what I really enjoy in terms of Japanese Pokemon cards is the Japanese promos with their unique artworks, the ones that you just can't find English versions of. A lot of people ask me about Japanese Pokemon cards, and they say, hey, what do you think of Japanese Pokemon cards versus English? And in general, I say Japanese Pokemon cards do beat English when it comes to unique promos. In terms of set cards, English will always win because English is just higher in demand. If a card is both available in English and Japanese, then the English is going to win. But a lot of the cards you're going to see now are only available in Japanese, and I'll tell you guys, the Japanese promos kick our butts. They're so cool. Some amazing Japanese promos, and this is one of the ones that I am really enjoying right now, and that is the Pikachu V Max Gigantamax version of Pikachu. It's absolutely adorable. Pikachu is such a little chonker, and this version you cannot get in English. Very adorable. Pikachu looks like he's about to give you a hug of death, but in general, I really dig it. This card is currently going for around $120 ungraded, and I think in a PSA 10 I could probably sell it for over $500. And we have 3 shots at it. I have 3 versions of it, so hopefully at least one is a PSA 10. I know a lot of you guys are super interested in my Reds Pikachu as well. I had so many people asking if I could sell one of them, my Reds Pikachu, and I would love to. I would like to have them graded first just to see what conditions they are in. You know, I never sell Pokemon cards ungraded. Well, actually that's not true. I very rarely ever sell Pokemon cards ungraded, and there's a huge reason for that. It's such a hassle to sell Pokemon cards ungraded. People ask you about the condition. People ask you to take more pictures of the card so that they can really understand the details. Once a Pokemon card is graded, it's the easiest thing in the world to sell because I only have to take 1 or 2 pictures. I take a picture, I say it's a PSA 8, everyone understands what that means, and there's no questions between the buyers and the seller. It's just so much better to sell graded Pokemon cards. So even if I have a card that I think is not really great condition, I might get it graded just because it'll be an easier sale. So we have a bunch of the Reds Pikachu. I want this card in the PSA 10. I purchased these Reds Pikachu for around $12 a card, ungraded. And in a PSA 10, they're going for around $250. So it'll be a really huge return if we can get some of these graded in a PSA 10. Another really cool promo, we have the Firefighter Pikachu card. Great promo card. A lot of people actually like this one. You can see that Pikachu is going to be dressed up in pretty much everything. It is the Pokemon mascot. And I wish we got these promos in English, but we'll settle for the Japanese version. Great Pokemon card in a PSA 10. Once again, going for $300 to $400 at the moment. And next up, we have a really cool card. We have the Easter Pikachu. This is the only promo card that you can get for Easter related, really. It's like the only theme card, and it's so adorable. We have a female Pikachu dressed up for Easter, and this is a card that I do have a PSA 10 version of, but I like the card so much I ended up buying multiple copies. It's still pretty affordable. I think you can buy ungraded copies of this card for around $50, and PSA 10, it's going for around $400 to $500. It's pretty insane how much some of these cards have spiked up. And it looks like we have another Firefighter Pikachu. And hey, here's another one that you guys have seen before. We have the Gentleman Pikachu. Great card. Look at him looking all dapper. Really cool card. I think this one is closer to a PSA 9. I purchased this Gentleman Pikachu card for $10 ungraded. It's worth so much more than that now. And in a PSA 9, it's still going to go for more. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get it graded, because it's so important. Another great card, we have Shibuya Pikachu. You can start to see my preference for Pokemon cards already. I'm not saying that these are the best Pokemon cards, but these are the kind of cards that I enjoy. And as you start collecting Pokemon cards, you'll start to recognize what cards you enjoy as well. So yeah, I'm really into Pikachu promos because I just think they're so unique, so cool, and so adorable in a lot of time. Especially this Shibuya Pikachu. I've been talking about this card for over a year, and it's definitely paid off. This card is going up so much in terms of value. I keep telling people it's such an amazing artwork. You do not find this kind of artwork on any Pokemon cards up till now. This is the only sort of pop art graffiti style Pokemon card in existence, and it's really, really amazing. Ungraded copies of this card, I was picking them up for $4 a card. Ridiculous. Honestly, it was so cheap, it was practically a steal. There's no reason for me not to pick up this card at $4. I'm not losing any sleep over it, and it's a really great card. Currently, ungraded copies of Shibuya Pikachu are going for around $20 to $30, so I've already made, 500% profit on just ungraded copies of this card. But when graded, this card can go for as much as $200 to $300 in a PSA 10 condition. Can prices drop on cards like this? Yes, they can, especially as PSA starts grading more cards. But in general, I'm totally fine with that. The profit margin is so high right now, it's just ludicrous. There's no reason not to get it graded. Even if the card goes down to $50 for a PSA 10, that's totally fine. That's still a huge profit margin for having these cards graded, especially when I pick them up for literally $4 or $5 for a copy. Next up, we have some polls from Tag Team All-Stars, the super cool Japanese booster boxes. I've been telling people that the Tag Team All-Star booster box is underrated for a long time. That booster box is currently going for around $50 to $60 on Amazon, and it's a really solid pickup because you can get yourself a gold Reshiram and Charizard GX tag team, and this card is not available in English. That's the important things about the Japanese Pokemon cards that I grade, is they're not available in English. That's why I have to go through the Japanese version. Super cool card as well, going for around $200 ungraded, so this is the absolute cap in terms of value for what we can send in for grading, but it would be a really nice card for a PSA 10. And final card, we have the Zoroark and Greninja Gold card. Another card that I pulled from my Tag Team All-Stars booster box. If you watch that video, you actually see me pull this card, and it's really cool. Yeah, I would just love to have a PSA 10 version of this Gold card. If it comes back as a PSA 9 or 8, I'm totally fine with that. All these cards are going to bring back a ton of value because the gap between a graded Pokemon card and a raw Pokemon card is so high right now that the profit margin is completely insane. It's totally worth it to have all these cards graded. Alright everybody, that's the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to be sending in over 100 Pokemon cards to be graded in this next submission. It's going to cost me, 10 times 100, so over $1,000, but I think it's going to be well worth it. I think the total value of all of these cards combined is going to be close to over $10,000 once all these cards are completely graded. So it's going to be well worth it, and it's going to be well worth the wait. Considering that PSA is still very heavily backed up right now, how long is it going to take for me to get these cards back? I'm estimating it's going to take me around 2022, June, December maybe, who knows. It's going to be a long time, and yeah, you just got to be patient with it. I'm not totally worried, and I'm fine with having these cards sent away. There is some cost to it, and the cost really is I can't liquidate it. PSA is just holding on to $10,000 of my own assets, but that's all right. We can afford to do this, and in general, it's going to be well worth it and very rewarding to have these cards graded, because it's going to be an amazing investment asset in the years to come. In general, these cards are probably even going to go up in value while they're away, and it's just a really good safe deposit because I can't sell them while they're away. It's just something for me to send them in and forget about it. So yeah, these are the cards that I think have the best shot of bringing you the most value when being graded right now. We have English promos, Japanese promos, as well as vintage Pokemon cards. So many different criterias and lots of different categories that you can jump into. I hope this has been enlightening, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.